The multifaceted woman. The woman embracing many titles, undertaking different ventures, and building generational wealth. You are a Jackie of all trades, master of your empire. Enterprise Empress, you are an unstoppable force.
Welcome back to another episode of Today's Jackie Show. I'm Sharon E. Coleman.
I'm Natalie Rowe.
And I'm Neidy Hornsby.
And we call this show the Today's Jackie Show because we interview women who are Jackie of all trades, master her empire.
These are ladies who are multifaceted women. They are embracing many titles. They are building generational wealth. Basically, they boss ladies.
Boss ladies.
Yeah.
Enterprise Empresses.
Enterprise Empresses.
So we said on our social media this week, Neidy, we said boss ladies build businesses, but Enterprise Empresses, they build businesses, families, they build communities, they build
all the things.
Legacy. They build legacy.
Yes.
Legacy builders. You better come through with Toya from last show.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's talk about our guest. You want to introduce?
I think Neidy's going to introduce our guest
Yes.
today.
So I know why we have Ann here, but the people want to know. Can you share some of your titles with us, Ann?
So, well, good evening, ladies, and thank you again for having me on the Jackie Show. Again, my name is Ann Pope, and I guess the first title that I want to share is that I am the wife of Richard Pope.
Okay.
You better come through, wifey.
With the full
Yes,
name.
I am a wifey. I am the mother of Richard Pope III and Miles Allen Pope.
Oh.
And I am a Mimi, i.e. a grandmother
Aww.
to Lily Pope. And last but not least, I am the president and CEO of Ann Pope Consulting, Inc.
Love it. So you checked off all the boxes.
All the boxes.
I know, that's such a multifaceted woman, right?
Yeah.
So our today's Jackie, Ann Waters Pope, she loves her maiden name and her married name. She is a business consultant. She is the former president of the Pi Delta chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and she is also an entrepreneur.
I am that.
Multifaceted, for real.
Welcome. We're so
Yes.
happy to have you on the show.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
Ann, can you tell us what made you decide to leave the corporate world and go out and start your own consulting firm?
Yeah, I can actually do that. So it's a pretty straightforward story. I was working in corporate America as a marketing consultant, and then I became a sort of like real estate developer. And I had moved around the country a lot in, going to different cities. And Richard, my husband, my wonderful husband, just followed my career as I moved around. So what occurred was that when we got here to Miami, where I was brought to, do some problem solving with some properties that the shopping center developer had, they wanted to move me again. And my husband was like, Ann, are we moving again? And I was like, well, if you don't want to move, we won't move. So that's literally what thrust me into taking a look at going into business for myself. And if I could expand on that a little bit, I had just closed a deal for the shopping center developer here in Kendall to build a shopping center. And I negotiated a land deal with Baptist Health Systems. And when I decided to go out on my own, I reached out to Baptist Health Systems. And they literally is who put me in business. Baptist Health said, you were a tough cookie on the other side of the table negotiating. You need to do that for us. And they asked me for a proposal. And I called up a lot of people that I knew on, telling me, helping me to decide what to do. And I wrote a proposal to do work for Baptist Health Systems. 3 weeks later, I hadn't heard anything. So I was like, I guess I'm not, going to get that project. And literally 3 weeks and 2 days later in the mail came my proposal signed.
Oh,
So
wow.
that propelled me into creating Ann Pope Consulting, Inc.
So,
Won't he do it?
so by choosing your family first and putting your family over your career, You
I did.
created many deals. So you're to thank for all of the Baptist Health buildings that are all across.
Not all of them. So the first one that I really did was I provided Baptists with what we call letters of support that they needed for their certificate of need to build the West Kendall Baptist Hospital. That is actually the land that I actually negotiated them buying when I was working for the real estate developer. Wow. So I turned around and was able to get them the letters that they needed, over 4,000 letters of support from the community to help them complete their certificate of need. I also helped them decide what to do with the old hospital they had in Homestead before they built this fabulous Homestead Hospital. And I have assisted them in opening up a few of their urgent care centers, particularly the one in Doral.
That's amazing. So, and thank you for the Homestead Hospital. I appreciate that.
Thank you for the West Kendall Hospital.
West Kendall Hospital.
Okay, so Ann, I love how straightforward your path seemed to be once you decided what you wanted to do, right? But as an entrepreneur myself, and I only work with female entrepreneurs, I know that, you know, we struggle with doubt and believing in ourselves, and there's a lot of negative self-talk that you have to overcome. Can you walk us through the process of once you decided that you were going to bet on yourself, which is the decision, right? But then the action of actually getting beside all the chatter in your head.
Right. The battlefield of the mind.
Right.
So I do want to share with you that it was scary, you know, stepping out and, you know, coming away from corporate America and not having a paycheck every 2 weeks. Or being able
listen, hold on though. Like that right there, I have to like pause on, because this whole eat what you kill life ain't for the faint of heart.
It isn't. It really isn't. So, you know, not having that security, if you will, of having a paycheck every 2 weeks, you know, when you get sick, you know, there's sick pay, you know, there's even vacation pay. So going out on my own was one of those things that was like, wow, you know, how am I going to do this? It was scary. I think that I got over the fear once I was in the trenches doing what I wanted to do and recognizing or realizing that I was really the captain of my ship. You know, it's like, you know, I have to tell you, starting my business with Baptist Health Systems also gave me just a level of, I was still fearful, but it gave me a level of confidence because, you know, Baptist Health Systems is, you know, they're just a wonderful employer to work for, and they're even a better client to have. So, that was, you know, that was, but it was still scary, but I got over that. I got over that once I got into the trenches and doing what I was doing and seeing the difference that I was making in the job, and knowing that maybe not every 2 weeks, but every month I would get a check, you know, and the fact that my husband was still, you know, working, you know, our medical insurance came through his job, you know, so I didn't have, you know, I wasn't afraid of that. Right. And I did know, though, that if something happened to me, Baptist was going to take care of me somewhere. Right. Take care of me. But, you know, just going through the motions of getting incorporated, you know, coming up with a name. I mean, I went through a lot of different, you know, iterations of coming up with the name. And somebody literally said, Ann, you're well known in the community. When you were in corporate America, you did so much in the community that I think your company needs to have your name. And I was like, what? My name? I mean, I didn't even want to do that. But, you know, it has proven to work for me because, as you may or may not know, I don't really even have a website. People reach me by my name, by my reputation, and by others that say you need to hire Ann Pope to do this work. So I've never really felt the need, you know, to really have a website, even though it's been a discussion. I believe that, you know, one of our sorors secured AnnPopeConsulting.com for me, but I still haven't done it.
She didn't get the name just in case.
Just in case, but I haven't really done anything with it. And I have to tell you that, it wasn't an easy thing, but I think that once you get the level of comfort and you're confident in what you're doing, it becomes easier.
I love that.
You know, I watched this show on Netflix, and I can't even think the name of it, but it's about a young lady who
Inventing Anna.
Huh?
Inventing Anna?
Yes, Inventing Anna. And the lady in the show, she said,
I'm obsessed with her, even though she's.
Girl, how did you know that?
That's what I was gonna say. But you know, the lady in the show, she said she named her firm after her name because if anybody wanted to steal her work, they couldn't steal her. So she was like,
Right.
they knew that if they wanted her work, they wanted her name, they wanted her work. If they wanted her work, they got her name. So I'm with you with the name. Now, Sora, okay, you guys. So Miss Ann Pope is a part of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And so am I. So when you hear me say Sora, it's because she is my endearing sister. So give me that privilege, to, call her that this show. Right? So Sora Ann, I was the alternate for a board. It was the Women's Minority and Veterans Board for Miami-Dade County Public Schools. And I had to go to one of the meetings. And do you remember this? I had to go to one of the meetings, and you were the consulting there presenting. And I said, look at my Sora, her fabulous self presenting. So to see you as a consultant, I just kind of want to talk to you about that. Like, what are some of the challenges consulting, another business? Because it's hard when you bring somebody in to tell people who have been doing the job. They're like, well, why is she coming in and tell us what to do? Or how come they picked an outsider to teach us how to do our job? So can you kind of talk to us about that for some of the consultants out there who are, adapting to this whole new world of, advising people?
Well, it's interesting. That particular instance, I believe, was the Miami-Dade County Public School Disparity Study.
Right.
The Disparity Study. And, that's really taking a hard look at, what's going on in the system. I think that when you're in a consulting business, you really have to spend a lot of time doing some homework and making sure that you really understand not only what your client or the organization that your client is part of, what they're doing, but looking at what are the models that are out there, right, that are effective models. So you almost have to kind of do almost like a SWOT analysis, right? You've got to figure out with the company that you're going to consult, what are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? Where are the opportunities out? And I think that, coming in with what I've done from that perspective, I think that I always do my homework. So I come in and I ask a lot of questions. People always go, oh my God, are you comfortable asking questions? Yes, I am very comfortable asking questions. I'm never going to be the person in the room that's not going to ask a question.
Right.
I want questions. I learn from asking questions. I get better clarification. And I think that clients at the end of the day respect you for even acknowledging what you don't know. I'm very good at telling people what I don't know. I like to stay in my lane, and I surround myself with people that strengthen where my weaknesses lie. And that's what I do. And I think that, for the most part, that's what's been successful in that circumstance. Now, when I first got into this sort of consulting business, I also did project management. So I would walk into a construction site, and, usually the men that work at the construction site would be like, ooh, who's that? She's cute, or whatever. I'm walking through.
The whistle,
and
right?
They had no clue. When I got to the construction trailer to run the meeting, they were all like,
they're like,
you're going to tell us what to do? And, and again, it's about, and that's clearly a man's world, but again, it's doing your homework. When I go in and I challenge some specification drawings and say, that's the wrong insulation, I come with, this is the right insulation for this reason. So what you're...
You become a receipt.
It's not the right insulation. Or, you've kind of put, nails in every foot, and you really needed to do it every 6 inches. so you avoid like a floor creaking or something. But I always came in, having done my homework. I would always review plans before I got to the site. I never went to a meeting not being prepared. That's just not an option. You must go.
Because what you're saying that about the research, right? Because that's pretty much how we set up this interview today, is that we could do research here because we're at Community Health Institute South, because you're having an event, right? Our sorority is having a community event this Saturday, and we're here. We're going to bring on a doctor to help do some research to kind of push people to getting, vaccinated. So tell us about that event.
Well, so in one of my other roles, I'm doing work for the United States Health and Human Services Department, HHS, and their We Can Do This campaign. And through that, we understood that it was time to really do some grassroots efforts to really get our communities vaccinated. So we coupled with the Cobb Institute. And when we looked at Miami was a high area of high hesitancy and low vaccination. So I immediately, of course, went to the members of the Pi Delta Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
You better come through with it.
They have really done a phenomenal job
Yes.
in carrying forth this community and vaccine event. And because of what was going on, they had to kind of redesign it for it to be a drive-through event. But it is this Saturday from 12 to 4 at Sweet Home Missionary Baptist Church. We're going to have all the different vaccines for everyone, including children. We're going to have health screenings, and we're going to do a lot of panel discussions with our medical experts. So we certainly hope that you come out and join us. It's really going to make a difference in our community.
Now, it's the vaccine and the booster, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
We will have boosters as well available. So we will deal with first, second vaccinations. We'll deal with boosters and also children's vaccines.
So, Neidy, go ahead, Neidy.
Go, Natalie. Go.
No, I was going to say, before we get any more in-depth into COVID and
The research, right?
Yes, into that heaviness, you want to play a game?
I sure do. So let's play Would You Rather. Anne, are you familiar with that game?
Sorta, yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask the question, and then I'll answer it after you. But I'm actually really curious to see what your answer is gonna be, especially with this one. So, would you rather go back to the workforce or remain an entrepreneur?
Good
That's
one.
easy. I would remain an entrepreneur. No chance of going back to the workforce.
That was actually my answer too. I could not imagine. And granted, it could be rough on this side of town, right? This entrepreneur life, but I could not imagine ever going back to the workforce.
Okay, I have one. Would you rather do your current career as an entrepreneur, or would you rather do your dream job as a child? Or was this your dream job?
So let's just say that neither. This was not my dream job. I didn't plan this at all. Mm-hmm. As a child, I wanted to be an attorney. Actually, that didn't come together. But my dream is to put to market a beverage that I do, and I am working behind the scenes. I don't know anything about the spirits business. But I am working behind the scenes. I do make this drink. Everybody that has it loves it, and I am trying to figure out how to get it in the market. So that is my end game, is that I want to put out some products and drinks into the market.
So we need to have an offline discussion on intellectual property, for
That's
sure.
right. You better come through, Guard Your Genius.
Absolutely.
Did we tell you, Ann, that Neidy is the intellectual property attorney? So we call her our Guard Your Genius expert here, because she makes sure people guard their vision. You know,
Neidy, we have to talk.
We do. The minute you said that, I'm like, oh, note to self, we have to make sure we're guarding all of that.
Yes.
So Natalie, you have to do one before we bring on our certified expert.
Yes. So, Ann, would you have rather started your firm while you were single without children, or as you did once you were married?
Says the mom and the wife.
That's a great question.
Because there are challenges, so I'm curious.
No, I like the way I started it. I started it before, I had my kids. And I think that just, really just allowed me some time to, settle into it, figure it out. Because, day one, look, even first year, you haven't figured it out, right? So no,
Right.
I really like, God has blessed me, and he kind of sort of, guided my steps, and it all came together really before bringing children. So I definitely think that for me that worked well.
So I'm doing it. Neidy and Natalie I'm doing it though.
No.
So we want to tell the viewers and you, and we've talked to you about this, but we bring on a certified expert, which we call this our certified Empress. This is someone who has knowledge in the topic that we're talking about. So today we're going to be bringing on a certified expert in the medical field that can help us kind of have, what we call it, keep it real discussion about vaccination and this pandemic.
Yes. So we, as Sharon mentioned, we have an event, or there is an event coming up on Saturday, the COVID vaccination drive. And as part of that drive, Community Health of South Florida, which is where we're recording today, CHI is going to have medical personnel as a part of the panel. They're going to be doing outreach and different things that Ann mentioned. So we thought that it would be good to have a doctor from CHI come and talk to us and help clear up some of the myths and answer a few questions that we have and that others have about the vaccination. So we have Dr. Rose Andris joining us today.
Thank
Rose
you very
is
much.
a family medicine doctor at CHI.
Yes,
Rose is also, what are some of your titles?
I'm a doctor. I'm a resident in family medicine in CHI. I'm a mother and a wife. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Pretty much.
And
busy.
fabulous. Can we talk about the
I'm a
dress or
busy
not?
person.
Yes.
What'd
Yes,
you
Miss
say,
Royal
Natalie?
Blue.
What'd you say, Neidy?
I said, and fabulous. Can we talk about the dress or not?
Right. Royal blue dress.
Well, welcome to the show.
We're so
I
glad
actually
you
didn't
joined
realize
us.
CHI was going to be at the event Saturday,
Yes.
so this is really great. And that
Yes,
she's
they
here.
are. They're providing vaccines and
Yes.
several other health screenings for our activity on Saturday. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's going to be cool.
So Rose, we thought that we would jump into like the questions dealing with coronavirus and the boosters through a game, right? And we're gonna play Tell It Like It Is. And we're just gonna, at random ask some questions, and then you're gonna let the people know what time it is, okay?
Okay.
So Ann has a bowl,
Yes.
and she's going to pull them out of the bowl for you. And we're going to ask the questions that they come out, okay?
No problem.
All right.
Okay, so Dr. Andres, the first question is, what are the truths and myths around being pregnant and getting the vaccine booster shot? Will my child have future complications and or defects?
Okay, so it's the vaccine really it's important for the pregnant woman because it decreases the risk of mortality with the pregnant woman. So it is really important for the pregnant woman to receive the vaccine.
Wait, so it's more important for a pregnant woman to have the vaccine than to not, is what you're saying?
Yes, because
Okay, with the
pregnant
facts.
yeah, they tend to be more sicker, so it is really important to get the vaccine.
Is that because your immune system is low as a pregnant
Yes,
woman? Or?
it is. With the pregnancy, your immune system decreases, so you can be really sick.
So I feel like you guys remember Don't Be a Menace in the movies, like Message. I feel like I'm going to say that. Katia, our producer behind the scene, might kill me, but Message, if you pregnant and you ain't got vaccinated, you need to be there Saturday. Like,
That's why this conversation is so important, because I thought that I kind of knew all the stats and all the things that matter when it comes to this subject, and I had no idea that it is especially important for pregnant women to get vaccinated. So thank you, Rose. I did not
That's
know
good
that.
Yes,
information.
it is.
okay, let's keep it real with the
Okay.
next question.
Okay, and just so you know, we are having a pediatric roundtable during the event as well. So, and that was set up just to, address these types of questions.
Okay, plug.
So next question, what are the side effects of getting the vaccine and the booster? Side effects.
So the common side effect of the vaccine and the booster, it's they are mild fever, some headaches, but not crazy stuff. You just need to get hydrated, get some rest, and sometimes you might need to have like 2 days off because you're tired. But
So
that's
they're
pretty-
mild.
yeah, mild for getting the vaccine.
Okay.
You can have some
So you're
pain.
saying
You can have some pain like at the injection site as well, but
Yes.
I think it's something that we can deal with it.
so the virus, the consequences of the virus far outweighs, you're saying, the side effects.
The side effect of the vaccine, right?
The side effects of the vaccine aren't as
Yes.
damaging as, the potential of getting the virus and getting really sick.
Yeah, it is. We have to consider like getting the virus or getting some side
Yeah.
effects. So
And they only last like a couple of days. If you have side effects, it only lasts a couple of days as
Couple
opposed
days.
to however long COVID can last. in
yeah,
your
you can.
system.
Yeah, you can plan to get like some days off just to get the vaccine. So,
So basically, Dr. Rose said you got to pay would you rather with this
Right.
vaccine. Would you rather have a virus or would you rather have some side effects that are
Right.
mild for a few
Be
days?
tired for a couple of days or
Right. Or be in a hospital for longer. Maybe. It's different for different
Maybe,
people, but we
right.
get the point.
Maybe. All right, and what's the next one?
Okay, so the next question is, how many shots are they going to make us take? Every time a new variant is discovered, does it mean a new vaccine or booster shot is needed?
for that, we don't we don't really know. We don't really know. It's just like all the older vaccine, we get booster, but that we don't really know. We cannot say, but we have a goal. So our goal is to get a coverage. That's it. Get a coverage. The virus might like mutated. We get no variants, so we might need some other boosters. But for now, we don't know.
So can I throw in a question, and as it relates to that, because it's Black History Month, and we talk about Henrietta Lacks. And so if you don't know about Henrietta Lacks, she is the woman behind the HeLa cells. And so she had cancer and went to Johns Hopkins like in the 1950s or so, I think. And they took some of her cells and they realized that her cell was the first human to reproduce. So her cells were pretty much the research behind a lot of the vaccines, a lot of the cures, a lot of the
stem cell testing.
stem cell testing. So when you think of her story, her family didn't know that they had took these cells and that they were using it and selling it. And when you think of that in other scenarios in Black history, this is why particularly African Americans and Blacks don't trust getting the vaccine. They're like, how do we trust the government? Or, how many of those shots we gonna get? And are they really shots that are helping us, or is it shots that's giving them research? So with that being known and it being Black history and us thinking about Henrietta Lacks, because I always say leaks Henrietta Lacks, what would you say to those who don't trust the process of this vaccination?
I would say that they can trust it. It's everybody's getting the vaccine. It's not only Black people. Everybody. So I would say they can trust it like they used to trust the older vaccine when they were kids.
All
The
right.
vaccine for rubella. It is the same thing.
That's right. When
That's a
you think
good
about,
point.
that's a very good point. We had
That's
to
a
get
good
vaccinated
point.
to start school. You had to,
Yes.
so you have those currently, and you're doing okay. And she quietly just said, "Look, they poking everybody. So if they
It's
getting you, they
universal.
getting themselves
Yeah.
too."
It's
That's
universal.
basically what she just
Everybody
said.
getting
It
the
is
same medicine.
everybody.
So
Everybody
it's
getting
not
the
just
same
us.
medicine.
It's not the 1950s. Right now, everybody needs it.
All right, and give us another question.
Okay, so let's see here. We've got, what's your advice for people scared of needles? Can you literally demonstrate what the vaccine process is like?
That's a good question.
Now, people are scared of needles. Dr.
One of my
I
Rose.
children is
know.
afraid of needles, so that's a really good question.
I will say that getting COVID is like scarier than getting the needle.
Would you rather?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So,
what I
Neidy,
would
what
say.
would you
Like,
rather? It sounds like.
What would you rather? What would you rather? And I am
Yeah.
very afraid of needles, but I mean, the alternative is scarier, so I
Look
get it.
away. When they're going to shoot you in the arm, just look away. Don't even look at it. Close your eyes.
But
They
you
don't
know
have
it's
50
coming,
seconds.
Natalie. What you mean? Look away. You know it's
But
like
you don't know
the
when it's
rubber
coming.
band and-
But
That's
you
what
don't
I
know
do,
when it's
lady. I
coming.
look away.
That's what I do. I
Look.
just turn my head the other way and then it's over.
We get what is it? The hair removal. We burn
Wax.
those off. We get wax. We
Laser.
get, we do all these things to beautify ourselves. That is like, oh my God, this is scary. So I get it with the needles. But can you tell us, like, when you get the shot, how does it actually work for those who don't know? Like, is it really quick? Is it like a big old needle?
Where
like,
do they do the shot?
What's the
It is
process? Where do they do
quick.
it?
Where is it administered? In the thigh?
the muscle, usually in their arm. So it's they usually do it in their left arm, like the one that you don't use.
So you're non-dominant.
Your non-dominant arm,
Okay.
and it is really quick. It is quick.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't
It's
remember
over.
It
feeling
is
anything.
I think it's like a mosquito bite, and then yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's good. A muscular bite.
A mosquito
A
bite.
mosquito bite.
A mosquito
That's
bite.
a
So it's
mosquito
this
bite.
fast. You don't
It's
even
quick.
know what happens. You don't know when
Yeah.
you get bit by a mosquito until it starts stinging.
So would you
After.
rather? What's
Would
the
you
next
rather?
question?
The next question is, what's the new quarantine time limit for people exposed to the virus and or tested positive with the virus?
Good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Can you
So-
take off 7 to 10 days or 2 weeks from work now?
No, not at all. So if you get exposed and you asymptomatic, you don't get any. You don't have to be quarantined.
You have to go back to work?
So if you have been
No,
exposed
no.
to COVID,
If you get exposed
Mhm.
and you vaccinated and
you-
asymptomatic, vaccinated plus
and no symptoms,
no symptom,
then you got to go to work. So there are
Yes.
no days off.
no days off.
Okay. But what
That's
if
for
I'm
exposure.
vaccinated but I have symptoms, or I'm not vaccinated?
You are, I said non-vaccinated already.
Okay. So what was
What
it?
is you?
So if I'm non-vaccinated,
Mhm.
I haven't had the vaccine, and I was exposed, and I have symptoms, then I need to
yes,
do what?
you do. You have to wait 5 days.
Mhm.
You have symptoms, so you have to get a test
In 5 days, or get a test
after
immediately?
after the 5 days.
After the 5 days, I get a test.
You get tested. Yes.
Okay.
So you're quarantined
Okay.
for 5 days and then you get a
Quarantine for 5
test.
days, and then you get a test.
So if the test comes back negative, you go back to work. But if it comes back
Yes,
positive, how long do you
positive.
have?
5 more days.
Oh,
So
okay.
5 days, and then you go and take another test and see what
5 more
happens.
days, and then you can go to work without the other test.
So yeah, everybody got to go back to work.
Yeah.
Now look, don't be trying not to get the vaccine so you don't have to go back to work.
Everybody
okay?
got to go back to work.
Everybody.
Okay, do we have any more questions, Ann?
Well, actually, I just saw that we have a question from Facebook, if I may ask that.
Oh, great.
Yes, it's how will the vaccine impact the reproductive system,
Oh wow.
i.e.
Oh, that's a
menstruation?
good question.
Productive system.
The,
The
reproductive
reproductive
system.
system.
How will the vaccine, or does the vaccine impact the reproductive system?
We don't have any data about the vaccine decreasing the reproductive system. I don't think we have that in our data.
Okay.
No,
So
because that's a
it's
concern
safe.
for me. Yeah, because I don't have kids, and so when you think about the reproductive system, she's right. If there's no, that's an important question. I'm glad whoever asked that. Like, that's a really good question.
So that's something that if you aren't sure or you have that question, you can always talk to your OBGYN or your family medicine doctor, your general practitioner, to get more information and clarity to decide if it's right for you.
Now, sorry, and would there be someone at the event that can kind of speak on that?
I think so. I think that when we're going to the pediatric roundtable, that may be something. I'm not sure that there's an obstetrician that's coming, but we have enough medical professionals that would be able to answer a question like that. And what we're doing, just so we're clear, is because it's a drive-through event, the panelists will be on the stage, but you will receive a QR code, whereas you can do the same thing that just happened here now. You can watch, in your tablet, on your phone, in your car, and you can send us a question that we will then ask the panelists at the stage.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah, I like that.
So I have one fire round question for everybody.
Is it another game?
Yeah, it's a quick game though, and everybody has to answer. We have 1 minute to answer.
Everybody has to answer. Okay.
Yeah, and I think it'll be informative for the audience. So why do you guys think that it's advantageous to participate in events like this upcoming event that Anna was talking about, the community vaccine drive-through? So in 1 minute, we can start with you, Anne. Why should people participate and take advantage of this opportunity?
Well, I think that Miami Stay Well, while a vaccine event, what it allows you, though, is to be in the midst of medical professionals, and not only just medical professionals, but you can get into the pediatrics aspect. You can also even hear from people that have experienced COVID, and that equips you with the resources and information for you to make an informed decision about vaccines and what their effects are. So I think that things like this are important, and they're being brought straight to the community.
Mm-hmm. Sharon?
So I'm a team person. I believe in teamwork and being a team player. So the fact that this is a community event, that you don't have to go to, an office or a hospital and do it by yourself, but you know that you have a team of people that you already do things with from your community, I think it kind of brings a more positive spin to it, and it makes you feel more comfortable, and I think it holds you accountable to not punking out, It's like, she did it, I'm doing it, we're doing it together.
That's good. So peer pressure.
Right.
Okay.
Pressure.
I like that.
Natalie?
Sure. I think that this event is good and is useful because you are getting an opportunity to talk to and to hear from medical professionals who look like you, who are in your community, who aren't trying to harm you, but they really are trying to help. And you can ask the questions that maybe you don't want to ask your doctor for whatever reason. You can get that information, or you can verify what you've already been told just to make sure.
That's really good, because my doctor is Dr. Mofa, and he's here at CHI too.
It's my boss. Yes.
We love Dr. Mofa, and I'm like, Dr. Mofa, did you get it? Because if you didn't get it, I'm not getting it. Right. And so if he got it, I trust him. Okay.
Go ahead, Rose. What is your answer?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. Other patients always ask me, did you get the vaccine? I'm always like, yes, I get it. That's what they need to be reassured that you as a physician, you got it, so they can trust you more. I think it's a good idea with the event, and they're gonna have everybody they need to talk to, the physician, and then they're gonna be more reassured.
Yeah,
that's good.
I agree.
So my answer is gonna be on the multiple choice test. I'm gonna be all of the above, because you guys all covered exactly what I'm thinking.
Well, we want to know what the viewers are thinking.
Yes.
So this is what we're going to do. Since we did games, we want you to have a game as well. So we want you to go to your social media page, and you could do it via Facebook or Instagram on your story, and tell us why you think people should go to a vaccine drive-through, particularly this one being produced by the Pi Delta Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha. So we want you to tell us what you think, why you think people should go, or maybe why you think people shouldn't get vaccinated. And then we'll share it on our page. And our page, you can find us at Enterprise Empress on Facebook, Instagram, as well as share this show tonight. Go to YouTube and subscribe to Enterprise Empress and see not only this show, but other shows that have been informative about women from our community.
That's great. So, Anne, as we close out, tell us, where can we find Ann Pope Consulting? If someone wants to know more about your company or utilize your services, where can they find you? You already told us you don't have a website.
Right. It can't be that domain name that your Sora put aside for you.
But I will tell you this. You can reach me at pope.ap@gmail.com. I look at all of my emails. I don't ever miss an email. So please certainly reach out. And if I may, to learn more about what Pi Delta Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha
That was
Sorority
going to
is
be my
doing,
next question.
please visit